This is Chris Law, Director of Field Services for Southwest Kansas Groundwater Management District. Today we're going to talk about the process of a flow test. Flow tests are done at several spots in the system, or can be done at several spots in the system, on the well itself, in the discharge, or at the sprinkler, on the riser, pivot riser, or a lot of times we will ladder the first span of the sprinkler and do the flow test there. There's several things to know ahead of time before we make that decision, and when people call to talk about a flow test, that's when we usually discuss that. So the flow test device is a little computer, and it needs to know several things to set up. It needs to know the outside pipe diameter, the type of pipe material, and the pipe wall thickness. And so you can see that I am measuring the pipe wall thickness with a special pipe wall thickness gauge. I am measuring the outside diameter with a diameter tape measure, and then determining, while I'm doing that, the pipe material. In this case, we have a relatively new sprinkler with a stainless steel riser. If the pipe is dry on the outside and clean inside and out, this can make for a really good flow test. Once we have the information necessary, we plug that into the flow test meter, and it will tell us how to set up the bar that we're working on, setting the spread of the blocks and then putting a little lubricant on it for the pipe, between the pipe and the blocks. At that point in time, we have to strap the bar to the pipe and then tighten the blocks down against the pipe, and then we're going to hook up the cables to the flow test meter and then get ready for the reading. Once the reading is set, we'll check several diagnostics and see if we've got good signal and what appears to be a good test going. If so, then we will set the meter, flow test meter, to run a 10-minute totalizing time. Then we will have a total for 10 minutes, and then we can get that back to a gallons per minute. Prior to starting the flow test, we have already started timing the installed meter, and we will be comparing the calculated rates in gallons per minute of the installed meter to the flow test meter to see how close the installed meter is to actual flow. State law requires that installed meters be within 6%, one way or the other, high and low, so between 94 and 106% of actual flow. And if they are, then they're considered to be compliant. If they are outside the 6%, then the meter would need to go for a service and repair, then come back and ready to go again.